I am Neil Larthos. I am the next Abdullah. You are the next Neville Goddard. Your SP gets wet every single time they think of you, and your bank account makes Jeff Bezos look homeless, okay? So I'm going to make my first ever video on inner conversations, okay? I don't know what it is about this shit of inner conversations, but it is one of my favorite categories of manifestation. Oh, don't make me fucking say it. Techniques. I might have to get some coffee after that shit. Hold on. I don't know why, but I just like it, right? Because I think it's one of the easiest. I think if you are a lazy ass son of a bitch, it is one of the easiest ways to manifest, okay? And I'm going to just explain to you what it is, and then I'm going to get to the damn point, okay? How many of you guys have had a boss where you look at the schedule and you're like, oh, shit, I'm going to tell them that I have AIDS today, right? Whenever you're on your way to work, okay, you start thinking of the what ifs, right? And instead of just saying the actual thought of what if my boss gets mad at me, you start hearing a fucking argument, a fucking conversation right there, right? Where he's like, you're always fucking late. And then you're like, oh, I'm sorry, Joe. And it's just like a back and forth fucking thing, right? And then you start thinking like, oh, you know, what if I say it like this? No, what if I say it like that? And what if he just says it in front of everybody? And then I start sweating, right? Except you actually can fucking hear the conversation, right? And sometimes it gets so bad that you actually leave the fucking daydream upset because you're like, fuck that motherfucker, dude. I cannot believe he said that. Oh, wait, it hasn't even happened yet. Well, guess what? It will happen, because if you keep putting something in your awareness, it will have no other choice to manifest. Now, the issue with a lot of people when they hear that is they say, well, yeah, but I mean, technically we were arguing on a Thursday in my imagination, but, you know, it happened on a Wednesday in real life. Look, anything you put in your subconscious is not usually going to manifest exactly the same way, okay? But if you are having an inner conversation and then the next day, sure enough, you fucking manifest an argument with your boss, yeah, you might not be arguing about the same thing, but the point is you still leave the fucking situation feeling as shitty as you felt when you got out of that inner conversation in your imagination 2 days ago, right? Usually that's the way manifestation works, is whether you are manifesting an SP, whether you're manifesting money, you could think, oh, I want to manifest $100,000, right? I want to manifest that 100,000 because I want to feel that financial freedom, right? But then if you keep going in your imaginal act and you imagine 100,000 in your bank account, you might not actually get 100,000, but you might end up getting a job that makes you feel financially free either ways, right? But it still is a success, right? And that's the way that inner conversations usually will work too, right? It's just most people use them for the negative. So how do you use it for the positive, right? Look, I'm going to tell you this right now. I manifest, I'm going to just be straight up honest with you guys, okay? This has been the one that has got me in the fucking dungeon so many times. Like today, okay? I'm going to be straight up transparent with you. I work as a manager at a restaurant, okay? Let's not talk about which one. And I have a boss that, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, she'd be better off dead. I'm just going to be real with you guys, okay? I'm just going to be straight up, okay? And a lot of these manifestation coaches who tell you, just be love, just be pure. Fuck that shit, man. I fucking hate her guts. She's a bitch, okay? It's time for me to retire, okay? I'm about to be 30. Fuck this shit. But either ways, one of the things about me and her is that we're always getting into fights, right? And even that's an assumption, right? But you're probably thinking, well, Neo, why don't you just imagine a better relationship with her? Why don't you just, you know, revise and act like if none of that ever happened? Because I fucking love arguing with this hoe. I love it. I don't want to stop. I hate her. I love hating this lady. I really do. I actually would be sad if she treated me nicely, to be straight up honest, okay? Criticize me all y'all want, but if you have the desire to be angry, fuck it, okay? But either ways, today, or a couple of days ago, I was having an inner conversation thinking about her just bitching about something like she typically does, and it's a habit, man. It just pops in my head, right? Now, I'm not saying I like to have these arguments, right? Okay? But I don't really give a fuck about, changing our relationship, or I don't give a shit. I could give two shits. It's like when you give up on your dad and you're just like, whatever. If you don't love me, well, who cares? Well, just today, me and her crash out on each other. And it was probably one of the worst crash outs we've had since like 3 or 4 years ago. And this whole week, I had nonstop inner conversations with me and her arguing nonstop. Boom, 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 boom. Now, yeah, we didn't have an inner conversation about the same thing in my imagination that we had today. But the point is, I still left feeling the exact same feeling that I had, that inner conversation gave me, that I had in my head. Right? The question is, how do we go from negative inner conversations to positive, right? There's two ways. One, you can approach it almost like affirmations, and you can literally try to have like a role play thing. But a lot of manifestation coaches tell you that, right? But they leave out a crucial part. That inner conversation that I had with my boss that manifested today, I didn't even try. It just fucking popped up, right? Now, if I tell myself, right, for example, if I want to have an inner conversation with the SP and she's talking about, I cannot fucking believe how fucking sexy you are, Neo. I can imagine that, but it won't feel natural, right? I personally believe that your inner conversations are a reflection of your consciousness, okay? Like even right now, that the whole fact that manifested with my boss means that there's probably something that I need to work on within. And no, not changing the relationship between me and her, but maybe there's something that I'm going through that's making me constantly keep getting those, because I was getting way more of those than typical, right? And so you could go in your head and have a little role play and say, okay, so, my SP's going to walk in stage left, and then she's going to say, damn, Neil, fuck, I just want you to push me against the wall and fuck me dry, right? Or you can work on your self-concept and accept that whatever comes up in your head when you ask yourself, what is the experience of the person who looks the same, who has the same pimple on my face, but the only difference is I have the money and the SP. What is that person's experience? And I guarantee you're not only going to start getting new thoughts, but you're going to start getting inner conversations. Okay, I just made a video previously, right before this one, where I was talking about, for an example, that if you have a crush on the receptionist at your dentist's office, right? And you're so preoccupied with the fact that when you're going to Mr. Martinez's office, she's not even looking at you when you pass by. And you tell yourself, if she really had a crush on me, she would probably be nonstop staring at me, right? Well, I said you can be seeing that in your 3D, right? But when you go in your head and you say, well, I get it. She's not looking at me in the 3D. She's probably texting her boyfriend, right? But what would it be like if she was? And when I went there in my head, as an example, and I haven't been to the dentist in fucking years, right? When I went there in my head, I created this scenario where I was like, okay, well, she's nonstop looking at me. And now when I'm waiting to go to Mr. Martinez, she's getting jealous because Felicia sitting next to me was talking to me, and then we're having a conversation when I go home, and she's mad, and I had to explain to her that Felicia just wanted to know where the magazines are. You see, I just heard her complaining about Felicia asking me about the magazines, and yet she's not even looking at me in the 3D. Work on your self-concept. The best way is to ask yourself, what would the experience be like if I look the same, if I walk the same, if I talk the same, but the only difference is I have money in SP. You will get new thoughts, you will get new desires, and from there, inspired action will happen, and inspired inner conversations will happen. But I think I want to go more deeper in inner conversations because I don't know what it is, but to me, there's something special about it. I don't know. Maybe it's a new thing. Maybe it's a new Neo. Let me know if you guys have any questions down in the comments. I keep forgetting to put my fucking email in the description. I'm doing free consultation. That won't last for long because once I become the best manifestation coach in the universe, I will start charging. So until then, folks, I am Neil Larthos. This is all that the I'm Awareness had to say. Excuse me. I know you're going to be okay.